I was about 5 years old, and it was maybe 2 or 3 in the morning, and I woke up to my mom and dad yelling. Now, that wasn't new. That was the way life was. So my younger brother was afraid, and so we just sat together and didn't know what to do. We lived in a little house way out on Avenue 18 and a half in Madera. And the next day, my dad left. My mom was unmarried for a number of years, and she married again, and divorced, and married, and divorced, and married, and divorced. While she was doing that, my dad had been married 8 times by the time I was in high school. Guys, I was born pissed off. I was angry. I didn't know what it was my dad was doing that was causing my mom to cry. But at 5 years old, I can remember saying, I will never do that. I had taken out my anger on everything that I can see. I used to work at Lester Burgers in about 4 different, I was still 14, in about 4 or 5 different locations. And one day, Les Lindley, the junior, one of the owners, came up to me behind me and tugged on my hair. I had what I call a flat tumbleweed. You know, it's the 60s, you know, and 70s. It looked cool. And he pulled my hair. He didn't pull my hair. He just yanked on my hair. And he said, it's time to get a haircut, son. That didn't work for me. He's not my father. I turned around and I hit him in the stomach. My boss. And he keeled over and he walked over next to a wall. I don't know how he did this. I don't know that I could do this. He breathed. The room was very still. And he looked at me and he said, I'm sorry that I called you son. I'm not your father. Get your hair cut. He didn't fire me. I didn't know about Christ. I didn't care about Christ until a third guy showed up. And he worked for Youth for Christ. And this guy would not leave me alone no matter what I did to straight arm him and hold him away. He just, in care, stayed there. So Larry talked to me about Christ and talked to me about Christ. And we had a retreat, just a weekend thing up at Hume Lake. And they had some dude come in and talk about Christ. And you know this thing that goes on inside when what you're hearing is true and you got to do something. And there's these people were walking up front and they're wanting to give their life to Christ. And I'm like going, hell no, I am not going up there. But inside I was so frustrated, I just walked out of the back of the building and walked down the street. And just before... This is crazy. It's February. There's snow on the ground. It's 1971. And I'm walking, and there is a stop sign. And I'm walking, and I stopped. And have you ever had a conversation in your mind, but you answer out loud? And anyone around you is going to go, what is wrong with that guy? The word that I said was my prayer that changed my entire life. I'm standing at a stop sign on the corner or whatever across from the big old dining hall there that wasn't there then. I looked at that stop sign and I said, okay. Now I got to translate what okay means. Okay, I acknowledge that everything that I've done to run my life has failed. Okay, everything that you have done, you did for me, that I did not have to live that way. Okay, I will not follow my way anymore. I am stepping full tilt boogie into you. And I started following Christ February 1971. At night before I went to sleep, I read just one paragraph of the book of Mark. And every day when I read, morning and evening, I said, Jesus, this is Randy. I didn't want him to get mixed up. I want to be like you. Will you show me how to be like you? Now, I became a Christian the moment I said okay, and that meant no more my way, yes to your way. I didn't know what that meant. I just knew that drastic change happened. And if that first step took me into the kingdom of God, reading His Word and applying it, drastically changed my life.